Hey, what's up you guys? It's been a while since I did a video on the channel, so I'm doing one right now. In this video, I'm going to teach you how to make a cool little biosphere out of a recycled plastic bottle like this. Now, for this, you can either cut your bottle in half like so, or you can just put things through the top like that. Now for my first biosphere, I did this method. This is my second one. I'm getting pretty good. Well, second and a half, I guess. But what you need is little pebbles or aquarium gravel. You need a false bottom, which separates your substrate layer from your sediment layer. You need charcoal, and then you need, one second guys, some dirt or sand or whatever substrate you like to use. Now you can use a custom substrate or whatever. This is kind of going to be a how-to video instead of a DIY because I messed up on, I did try to do this a different time, but got messed up. So this is going to be a how-to video. So once you have all your materials, let's start doing what we need to do. First, get a good layer of gravel about that big on the bottom of the bottle. Then fill it with water until you can kind of see the water through the gravel and it's touching the top. That is what is going to be watering all of your plants that are in the biosphere. Now, after you have the water and gravel in place, you need a false bottom. Now, a false bottom is something like a little bit of mesh or a paper towel that you cut to size. I used a double layer of paper towels that I cut into a circle the same size as this right here. And you might see that I have something in here. This is a little bug that I'm gonna actually be putting in this biosphere, because biospheres, they're quite cool and you can actually put insects in them if you wish. So this is the biosphere that I had created in the previous video that I tried to make, and the video got so messed up. But once you have your false bottom in place and your gravel and water, put about that thick of a layer of charcoal in there. Now this is actually charcoal. This is leftover from burnt sticks and logs. Now you can use that charcoal, or you can pretty much use anything like biomedia or just charcoal like this. Once you have a layer about that thick of charcoal, then you start putting your substrate. Now the substrate, make sure it is moist and damp, either moist or damp, and it can be dirt, sand, whatever you prefer. You can also make a custom mix if you wish, that I will also be making a video about. I call it my personal tropical mix of substrate. But once you have the substrate in place and you get about that much of a layer in like that, and then after that you can start decorating. What I put in here is some moss. I put just this, which has some old man's beard on it. Old man's beard is a fungus that grows on trees, on the bark of trees. And then also some plants if you like. Now this here is what I have created. As you can see, I have some moss. There's actually two different types of moss right there. This is old man's beard on a piece of tree bark, and this is my plant. So what you want next, if you've cut it in half, this is the cut in half method. I'll show you guys in a future video the other method that I used, which is just using this. And that was my first one. Now Alright, second to last step, what you need is basically any small insect or animal that you want to put in your biosphere. Now, your biospheres can be as large as you want. They don't have to be exactly how I'm telling you to make them. But I am putting just a small little animal in here, right there. Now, these guys are actually quite cool. They scavenge things in their environment. And they actually live like that. So, let me get a few sticks in here for this guy. Alright, got some sticks. Now what the sticks are going to do, they're going to provide basically areas for him to climb on if he desires to climb, or whatever, basically whatever he wants to do, really. And then I'm going to just put something like this in there. Now what's really cool is you can set these up like gigantic or whatever, but the rules are pretty much going to stay the same for the environment that you create. So if you put animals in there, you need some sort of predator to pick off the weak and the old so they don't die in your terrarium. Now the next step for the terrarium is to close it off. Now I'm just gonna put this cut part of the stick off and throw it away. Now the last step that you need is to close it off. So this is a cut in half method. How you cap it off, you just basically take it like this. Trying to show you guys as best as I can. Take it like this and just kind of push it over the bottom part of the bottle, and you'll end up like this. Now if you actually want it to stay closed off, tape it off, and that would close it off for good, which that's how an actual biosphere works. Now once you close this off, it's basically like your own little planet Earth. Nothing but besides what you put on there. So basically, it's a miniature version of Earth. It shows how it's working and everything like that. Now, like I said, the aquifer is going to water your plants. But many of you don't know how that's going to happen because you've never done this before. That's okay. I'm going to explain it to you. So, in the aquifer, we put some water in the gravel, and then over top of it, a false bottom and some charcoal. Now, that water is going to evaporate, come up to the top of the bottle, and is going to basically form precipitation, which is kind of like rain and condensation, things like that. It forms water droplets, essentially. Now, the water droplets will drip down into the soil, or the substrate layer, whatever you want to call it, and that will water your plants. And then it will go down through the water, and then through the substrate layer, which filters it, and then through the charcoal layer, which forms as bioactive media, which also filters it, go back through the false bottom, which filters it some more, and then all the way back down to the bottom of the bottle inside of the gravel, which also helps filter it. Now this is what it should look like when you are finished if you followed my cut in half method. Now remember, if you want it to stay absolutely cut off, like from the outside world, and just survive on its own in there, then yeah, tape it off. Get some tape, put some tape around the bottom of it, and then there you go. So that was my cut in half biosphere method for biospheres. If you followed this tutorial, I hope how to tutorial, whatever you call it, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you found it very helpful, because I don't know. But I'm going to make another video on how I made my first biosphere, which I made just with a plain plastic bottle like this. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. That's all for today. And bye-bye.